So I want to speak to someone who needs extra strength this morning. If you're here and you need extra strength, I have a word for you. Maybe you feel like you need to start something. Maybe God has put something in your heart you want to start, but you just can't. You need a strength to start. Or maybe you have started something. Maybe you have been doing it, but you feel like you just need the strength to continue. You need the strength to endure. It doesn't matter what that thing is. It can be a business, it can be a job, or just life. Just life feels too heavy. Or maybe a relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship and you feel like, God, give me the strength to continue. Or maybe you have made so many mistakes and you feel like you need the strength to change. The strength to turn around. The strength, you just can't. I have a word for you this morning. The text we're about to study is a message from God to the people when they would already be in captivity. They were deprived of their rights, their culture, or their families. Some of them, their families were killed before they were taken into captivity. The Babylonians took in captivity the people of Judah, only the strong ones. They had lost everything, and they lived in a foreign land. So they were questioning if there was still any hope. So the book of Isaiah is divided into two parts. The first part, which is the chapter 1 to 39, God is warning them. He's confronting them. Because of their sins, he's telling them, this will happen, you'll be taken in captivity. If you don't repent, this will happen to you. From chapter 40 to 66, now God is comforting them because it has happened. Now they're in trouble. But Isaiah prophesied, for those people who will be in captivity, these are the words I would like you to remember. So the chapter we're about to study today is a message to those who are already in captivity. They are already stuck. They are already in misery. That's the message we're about to study today. Maybe that's where you are in life. Maybe you feel the desperation of life. Maybe you wonder if God has abandoned you, just like they did. God being merciful, he gave a message to Isaiah for the people in misery. God being merciful, he gave us a message for us today. There is a word for you today. He promises them deliverance from captivity. Oh, good news, isn't it? But there is a predicament. What are they supposed to do as they wait for the deliverance? It's one thing to receive a promise from God. It's another thing to wait for the promise. What do we do? Now we know God will deliver, but my situation hasn't changed yet. What to do in the waiting? And that was their question. So what do we do, God? We know you said you will deliver us. What do we do in the meantime? The promise for the meantime. There is a word for the meantime. Maybe that's where you are. Maybe that's where your life is. Waiting for a promise. What to do in the meantime, God? What to do? And let's go to the word of God. Isaiah 40, 27 to 28. Jacob, why do you say, and Israel, why do you assert? My way is hidden from the Lord, and my claim is ignored by my God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the whole earth. He never becomes faint or weary. There is no limit to his understanding. So in verse 27, they felt as if God has forgotten them. And the prophet is addressing that. They felt as if God has abandoned them. They asserted that God did not hear their prayers. Oh, we feel that way. We feel that way. Maybe God is not hearing my prayers. Maybe God doesn't care anymore about me. And then Isaiah responds to them in verse 28. He gives them the tools to overcome their doubt. He tells them how to overcome your doubt when you feel as if God is not hearing your prayers, when you feel like God has abandoned you. Isaiah tells them this is what you should do. Remember who God is. When you doubt if God is hearing you or if God cares, remember who He is. Oh, why do I need to remember? Because there is a correlation between faith and remembering who God is. He instructs them to look up. So let's start with that one. When you feel like you doubt God, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do with life, look up. Why? Because our focus is on the problem. So when you feel like God is distant, there are 4 things to remember. 4 things. The first one, God is eternal. He's telling them, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God. There is nothing new. But you need to remember that God is everlasting. Because sometimes we forget who He is. God is not all that today than He was yesterday. Infinity plus 1 is infinity. Oh, 10 years ago, I was 40. Now I'm 50. God, maybe God is 1010. No, He's not 1010. He's eternal. God does not grow old like you and I. He doesn't. He's eternal. Infinity plus 1 plus 10 is still infinity. You can add 1,000,000 to it. You can add 1,000 to it. It's still infinity. He's eternal. And He wants you to remember. We are concerned about timing because we live in time. Time means a lot to us. It doesn't mean the same thing to God. You know why? We age, so we miss opportunities. Something you didn't do in your teenage, you feel like, oh, I can't do it again today because your bones are saying something to you. That's why we feel like God has forgotten us, because we look at things from a time perspective. We age. But God is not looking at things from a time perspective. No. He's eternal. He's looking at you from eternity perspective. So whatever He will allow in your life means something to Him. It may not mean something to you, but from the eternal perspective, it means something to Him. So He's telling them, remember He's eternal. Your way of assessing the problem is not the same as Him. He waited 400 years before sending Moses to deliver the people of Israel. 400 years. If it was me, I would say God was late. That's my assessment, because I live in time. If God says you will go there and after 400 years I will come to deliver you, I say, God, what are you talking about? I won't be there. I won't be there because I live in time. In His wisdom, 400 years were okay. He knew why. I don't know why. I can't explain it to you. But I know God lives in eternity. He said to Abraham, I will give you a child. Do you know how long Abraham had to wait? 25 years. He ended up making a mistake, thinking God is late. And his wife said, oh, God doesn't sleep with my servant. You know, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know. I'm a good husband, isn't it? Yeah. 25 years. You know, Noah waited for God's time. Oh, if I was Noah, I would say, God, I think you've made a mistake. God said, build the ark and then I will punish these people. And then it took years and years. Some people say even 120 years. God's timing. Martha and Mary buried their brother. One day, 2, 4 days later, Jesus appears. That for me is late. Jesus was late. He owes us an apology. But in his time, he showed up. He raised him. That's what it means when we say God is eternal. He doesn't look at things the way we do. We may not understand, but he's eternal. He looks at things from an eternal perspective. In due time, he will answer your prayers. In due time, God will come to your rescue. God is always on time. And I love that about him. He's always on time. And then he told them, God is omnipresent. He said that to them. He said, the creator of the whole earth, the one who creates is greater than the creation. If Isaiah reminds them God is the creator, he's telling them he's bigger than the creation. So in other words, he's telling them God is in charge. He's everywhere. He didn't just say he's the creator of the earth. He said the whole earth. That means every corner, God is in charge. Oh, we reach places where we think God is not here. I can't feel his presence. No, it's just too dry here. It's just too bad here. God is not here. Let me tell you something. He's everywhere. In the courtroom with you, he's there. In the exam room, he's there with you. In the interview room, he's there with you. There is no place on earth that escapes God's control. Everywhere, he's in the theater during the operation, God is there with you. He's there with you. Look at what David said in Psalm 139, 7-10. Where can I go to escape your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I fly on the wings of the dawn and settle down on the western horizon, even there your hand will lead me, your right hand will hold on to me. God is everywhere. Isaiah wants you to remember that he's there. Then the third one, he says, God is omnipotent. Oh, that's what he wanted you to know. His strength is unlimited. The difference between God and people is that people can help you for a limited time with limited resources and in a limited number of problems. People will help you for some time as long as you don't keep coming back. Yes, people will help you in some cases as long as it fits in their budget. Oh, yes. People may help you however and whenever they can. Some problems turn people away because they are overwhelmed by it. They love you. They care about you. It's just too big, oh. We can't do anything about it. We run away. Oh yeah, people will leave you because it's just too big. It's not their fault. Understand, they are humans. They grow weary and they faint. God doesn't. Yes, he does not become faint or weary. Look, I want you to remember this. God never leaves you because of the size, the length, or the cost of your problem. People do. People do. The size of your problem, the length of your problem, or the cost of your problem may turn people away. But God will always be there for you. And then he tells them, God is omniscient. Oh, God is omniscient. There is no limit to his understanding. He knows everything. God knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. You know, I've questioned God if he knows what he's doing. I've asked God, God, do you really know what is going on? Did you see that? God, can you see me here? Can you feel this, God? Do you see how? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But sometimes we feel like this is happening to me because God can't see it. This is happening to me because God is not aware. I want you to know today, God is aware of your problem. God is aware of your issue. He is aware. He is aware. Look up. And then he said, after you've looked up, you now need to look inward. 40:29, the book of Isaiah. He gives strength to the faint and strengthens the powerless. God gives strength to those who acknowledge their weakness to him. Arrogance disqualifies you from divine enablement. You need to admit you are a sinner for him to save you. You need to admit and repent your sins for him to forgive you. You need to admit you can't for him to enable you to do it. You need to admit for him to intervene. Sometimes we need the strength to start. Maybe you have a dream, but you're afraid of stepping up and starting. Maybe you feel like what you want to do is too big and you're afraid of taking risks. Or maybe you have started, but you need strength to continue. In the Olympics, they ask athletes how much weight they can lift in the weightlifting competition. They don't just impose the weight on you. They don't just tell you 300 kilos, lift it up. No. They ask you, how much can you lift? And then you decide. You say, I will start with 70. And you try 70 and then 100. And you keep going up until you say, You know what? Sometimes in life, we hesitate to lift some weight because we know the limitations we have. We avoid to dream big because we think we cannot fulfill it. God does not give you a dream you can fulfill. I will let that sink in first. God does not ask you to lift a weight you can lift. God will ask you to pick something you cannot so that you rely on him to lift it up through you. He will bring this big vision in front of you like, God, no, God. It is his dream, not your dream. If it's God's dream through you, he will lift it up for you. He will. Oh, let me say something else. David did not kill Goliath. Oh, don't say Pastor Mike contradicted the Bible. Wait until I finish. David's size, David's experience, David's knowledge, David's everything could not kill Goliath. No. It is God in him who killed Goliath. So we can say David killed Goliath because physically David was there. But the power through David was the power of God. And David never took credit. David never said, he came and I killed you. No, he said, my God will kill you. That's what he said. We can give him credit as much as we want, but David never took it. He knew it was God through him. Another one. Paul said, I can do all things through Christ. I wish Paul just stopped at I can do all things. That's confidence, isn't it? And that's what motivational speakers tell us. Find it in you. It is the area in you. Just find it in you. What is it? I can't find it. God in me? Oh, there is no weight I can't lift. God through you, there is no weight, there is no dream you cannot fulfill. God in you, that mountain is tiny. God in you, your dreams will come to pass. God in you, he will make it happen. God in you, you can do all things. God in us. That's why when he looks at the weed, he said, don't worry. I can do that. When you know that you're not acting on your own strength, you can take heavy weight because you know God will lift them for you. You can start dreaming big because you know God will fulfill them. You can. That's why Isaiah told them, look forward. You've looked inward, you recognize where you are, now let's move forward. Let's move forward. He says, 30 to 31. Youth may become faint and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not become weary. They will walk and not faint. He says we will soar, we will run, we will walk. We are going somewhere. And life is a journey. Isaiah is reminding them that those who put their trust in people end up disappointed. God is saying, the secret of renewing your strength is trusting in me. Because young men stumble and fall. I love the contrast. He tells us what people can do, and then he tells us what God can do. The one who brought you here will finish what he started in you. He will. You may feel like you don't know what is happening with your life. You may feel like, I don't know God, like I'm lost in this season of my life. He started the work in you. He will finish it. Sometimes it feels like God has abandoned you. He says, trust me, and I will complete the work I started in you. Don't worry. He will bring the right opportunities at the right time. He will bring the right people at the right time. It is in his hand. Even your health is in his hand. It is. Your finances are in his hand. He knows what he's doing. Oh, learn to trust God. He said, they will soar on wings like eagles. Why is it necessary to fly? Do we really need to fly? Do we really need to soar like eagles? Why not just like any other bird? A fly is good, but why not just shh and come back? Why we have to go like eagles? You know, eagles can fly up to even more than 3 kilometers high. And they represent strength and endurance. Life has mountains and valleys. We face mountains and we can't even see where we are going. When you face a mountain, it stands in front of you. You can't even see your destination. You get confused because you don't know where to go, what to do. The mountain stands in front of you. Because of the height of the mountain, we get lost. So God says, if you trust me, I will make you fly like eagles, which means you will rise above problems. You will start to see beyond the problem. Eagles see beyond the mountains. Why? Because they are higher than the mountain. I pray that God will give you the grace to live in this life flying like eagles. You are not just looking at the problem in front of you, but God takes you up. You can look at life from a divine perspective. You can see beyond the mountain. You can see beside the mountain. You can see 10 meters, 100 meters beyond the mountain. But that's what eagles do. They fly. When you trust God, he gives you divine perspective. When you trust God, the mountain in front of you is not everything. There is something beyond it. And God will show you that thing. Oh, maybe you are confused. Maybe the mountain in front of you, I don't know what it is. It can be a financial mountain. It can be a health mountain. It can be a relational mountain. I just want you to know there is something behind it. May you trust God so he can take you high as an eagle. So you can see beyond the mountain. May God help you. May God help you to fly like eagles. Abraham didn't quit. Noah didn't quit. Why? They could see beyond the mountain. There is something beyond the mountain. Then he says, they will run and not become weary. Those who trust God, he says, they will run and not become weary. Why do we have to run? What's the rush? Where are you running to? Or where are we running to? Why would the Bible tell us we will run and not become weary? Or you know what that represents? It's God's speed. God's speed. Those who trust in God can accomplish in a shorter time what other people will spend a lifetime accomplishing. God is never late. He gives Godspeed to his people. Moses was called at 80. If I was God, I will tell God that is a wrong choice. The guy is tired. That's when he started his ministry. Godspeed. Jesus, Godspeed, 3 years and a half. We are all talking about him. The things he said in 3 years have changed history. Godspeed. God can give you the grace to do in a shorter time what people are struggling to fulfill in their lifetime. Because you are with God. Don't copy them. Don't try to copy them. Don't try to be like them. Trust God. Whatever he put on your life will come to pass because he is with you. You will run and never become weary. I love the promise. I love that promise. And then he says, they will walk and not faint. Why did he start by flying, then running, and finish with walking? I wish he started by walking, then you accelerate, you run. That's what we do. That's what aeroplanes do. Start slowly, then accelerate, and then fly. But they started high, then they run, and then they walk. It begins with perspective. That's why you need to fly first. You fly first, you see where you are going, then you come down. You run because you know where you are going in God's speed, and then you walk. Let's now talk about walking. Marriage, parenting, business, church. You have so many things to juggle. You have so many things to manage. Your studies, your health, your children, your annoying husband, your annoying friend, everybody around you. No. What? Oh, sorry. Let me change. There is no one there. It is there. Okay, your annoying friend. It's just too much to manage in life. It's too much to manage. So God says, if you trust me, you will walk and not faint. That means none of these things will overwhelm you. None of the life issues will overwhelm you. Why? Because you are not the one managing them. God is managing them through you. Honestly, parenting is complicated. We gave birth to 3 humans. We thought they will do everything as we planned. We even had dreams about them, how they will be walking, how they will be laughing. We dreamt about all those things, and none of those things came to pass. Because they are individuals. They make their own decisions. And I said, at the end I said, God, it's in your hands now. Parenting without God is a failure. Marriage without God, it just makes a big difference when God is at the center. When God is at the center of a relationship, it makes a big difference. When God is involved in a business, in your finances, when God is involved, you can achieve more with less. He said, you will walk with me without becoming weary. The works of life. Look, I was reading a story about the marathon. And it said that the event was born out of the legend of Pheidippides. That's the name of the guy. But other people think it's a different person who did it. So that's not the issue. Someone did it. Yes. So in 490 BC, this guy ran from the site of battle to Athens to give the message of Nike, which is victory. When he arrived, after 40 kilometers running, to give the good news that we have won the war, he promptly collapsed and died. He did not have the strength to make one more step. Some people say he did not even arrive in the court where he was going, like outside. He just said, "We won." Boom. He had the strength to run only 40 kilometers, deliver the message, and that was it. Sometimes in life, sometimes we feel like that. We've run, and we have nothing else to give. We've done our 40 kilometers, and that's it. Sometimes we feel like we don't have any strength to make even one more step. No strength to push one more day or to try one more time. We have done everything in our power. We've done our 40 kilometers. This is it, God. We need God's strength. Only God's strength can take you from there. You've done everything in your power. They will tell you, reach inside. Reach inside. There is nothing inside. I've reached as deep as I could to reach 40 kilometers. Do you think the guy didn't reach inside? He reached inside. And there was nothing left to be reached. Maybe that's where you are in life. Maybe you've done everything. You've listened to podcasts for self-encouragement and you've done everything. It's not coming. You've done everything to get that one strength just to lift your finger and try again. It's not happening because you've run out of strength. And God says, today I want to give you my strength. If you trust me, I will give you strength to run the rest of the journey. He will do it for you if you only trust him. Maybe you need strength to start something. I want to pray with you this morning. Maybe you need the strength to continue. I want to pray with you. Maybe you need the strength to finish something. Or the strength to change. You've tried many times to change that behavior. You have tried and tried and tried. You find yourself back there doing the same thing. You need the strength to return like the prodigal son.